Hey, hello and welcome to my channel, ODATA.ca. I'm a Microsoft certified professional with Navision. I've spent 12 plus years and 4 plus years working with specifically with Dynamics 365. Today on the channel, I would like to take a request. Had a customer request some help with a costed bill of material. They were having issues where they wanted to do some ad hoc what if, and it's just not possible with the tool set. So what you can do, of course, is that if you do have a bill of material, so I'm on Kronos, which is the base package, so you could bring this up yourselves. I have an AirPot bill of material, SPSCM 1009. This is a single level bill of material. I'm not going to get into multi-level. I'm not going to get into routings and so forth. I'll leave that for us for a more in-depth session. This is purely this bomb. Now, the standard system, what you could do is you can see the bill of material. You can use a config pack. You can export them. You can do stuff, but that's not a very efficient way of doing it. You can also look at the cost share. So the cost share turns around and it gives you the indented bill of material. So this tells me that there is another component, and I'll get to that in a second. These are purchase components, and there is an assembly. And I'll explain what those differences are. But I can't see it based on this bill of material because they didn't build the reservoir assembly. They loaded it as an item, not a production bill of material. I'll get to that in a minute. So cost sharers are seeing it, and I can see that yes, I require a production order for the assembly, and all these others are purchase components. But I can't tell much else about this. If I go on the item card and I look at SCM 1009, I can see if I drill into the item, I can come down here and I can see basically what this takes. SCM 1009, the bill of material, and so forth, and I could see some costing $187.42, but I don't see much else other than that. So if we turn our attention to something called web services, and I'll show you exactly what these are. These are the pages, and on web services, so you simply go to web services, and you can create the page. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But the pages that I'm interested in are 99000786 and 99000788 and page number 30. So these are not tables, these are pages. I won't explain the details at this time. There's another separate video for that. So essentially what I have is I have the bill of material header, I have the bill of material lines, and I have the item card. And essentially what I can do within a couple of minutes is this. I can take this information and I can actually put it into the Excel world. So how does that work? Well, it turns out that if I go into something called Power Pivot, and if I manage, now this is where this is all done for us, but if I go into this, I can see that I actually have the bill of material header, which is that 99000786. And if I go to the BOM line 000788, and I have the items. So what OData allows us to do is directly export the header information to something that I could do and manipulate it within the Excel world. Now, this is a one way. I could take it out to Excel, but I'm not going to take anything back into the system because I'm not going to do that. But I can bring up my BOM lines and I can see the BOM lines about what's in here. Now, if I scroll across, I can see the same fields: the bill of material, the line number, the type. This is the part number that's going into the bill of material. And then I can see whatever that description is, and I can see width and so forth. But there is something else that I could do. Now, I've included the item card. Now, the item card contains something called unit cost. That's what I'm after. And I can see last cost, and I can see standard cost. So anything on the item card, I can manipulate, and I can bring it in. Now, the other thing I can do is I can do mathematics. So here you can see that I have quantity per times BOM lines unit cost. So if I have something that has more than one, so for example, on this line here, $4.68. If I scroll across, it's going to say, well, how many of these things do you have? I actually have 12. So I have 12 pieces, and each piece happens to be 39 cents. So 12 times that. Now I could add yield. I could add other fudge factors for loss. I could do lots of things, but this is controlled. It is Excel, but I cannot manipulate it on an individual basis. It's not in a spreadsheet. This is sitting in the background. Other thing I do is if I go up to the diagram view, which I'll get to in just a second, and I can see the diagram view, I actually export these 3 pages into the ODATA world, and I put it inside a Power Pivot, and I actually create indexes and I link the tables. So I create the header, BOM number becomes the connector to the BOM lines, production order number, that's a 1-to-1. And then the production BOM, I have the item number that's going into the production BOM for the thing that we need to consume, and I tie it back to the item card. Now, why is that important? Well, when you finally get into the Excel world and I put it into a pivot table, then I can take any field that exists on the item card and utilize it. So for example, many times somebody is going to alter, or they may alter the description on the bill of material, which does not match the item card. And if you're not careful, you could have 2 different sets of descriptions. Now, there's a whole reason for why you do and don't want to do those things. I don't want to get into it. I'm simply saying I could take the item and use the description off of the item card. Everything else here is based on the bill of material. So I could say whatever the type, I just need to drag the type and drop it. It's inventory. The base unit of measure, I could take it and I could drop it. And if I contrast what's available here, and if I go back to cost shares, I have none of that feature function, none whatsoever, right? So if I wanted to explore the cost of this, it's $187.42, which is pretty cool. I mean, the system's going to give it to me. But if, for example, I have a whole family of these air pots, I have a small, medium, large, I have different colors and different sizes, I may choose to say, hey, show me the cost of all of these that are going to be separate. And I want to be able to do that. I can't do that specifically, even with the cost share. I could get 2 of the BOMs up, but I would still need to manipulate it and export it into something to do something in an ad hoc tool. Because unfortunately, it just there's no feature for us to be able to accomplish that. So getting back to here, the costing is all I need to do is I go up to here and I can go to data and I can refresh all or refresh one of the pages. So if I refresh all, what the system is going to do is it's going back to Dynamics 365 and it's getting all of the information I want as of right this second. And it's going to take it and republish it. And I get to see real-time ad hoc type of data as it's refreshing everything onto my system. Now, if I had made a change, of course, what's going to happen is that costing is going to be different. So, for example, I could go and change the unit cost, or for that matter, if I'm into a period of inflationary pressures and I want to see what my last cost is, I'm able to do that. And these are rock solid. This is what the system is actually transacting with. Now, moreover, if I wanted to do some sensitivity analysis with this, I'm free to do that as well. I could bring in data that tells me which of these items do I sell more of. If I knew what my selling expenses were, I could bring that in with me, and I could do whatever I want with it. So very, very, very powerful tool. And in the hands of the user that is comfortable with the OData skills and is comfortable within the Excel world, there's really nothing that you can't do. Now, granted, this is not launchable from within a Dynamics 365 page, right? It's not a program, it's not here. But then it didn't cost you, I don't know, $5,000 or $10,000 to do what I just did in 20 minutes. So it's a very powerful tool. Thanks for watching, and please check out my channel on ohdata.ca. Thanks. We'll see you in the next video. Bye now.